So he always, once in a while he likes to take a jab at me. And in his most recent blog, he said, well, how's that hyperinflation thing going? Like, Peter Schiff's not always right because he said we'd have hyperinflation. I did say we'd have hyperinflation, and we're going to have hyperinflation.
Thank you so much, Brian. Well, if the world's investors are right, get ready for another intervention by the Federal Reserve to boost the economy. That, of course, we will hear about tomorrow at 2 p.m. ahead of the press conference that Bernanke will give.
Meantime, we're going to talk about whether it's needed or not. Euro-Pacific Capital's Peter Schiff says any Fed action is not going to help, and it's wrong. Ron Insana, though, says the economy needs it right now. So let's talk about it and get your perspectives on this right now. Peter, you saw the employment numbers last Friday. You don't think we need more Fed intervention?
Well, I mean, we need more Fed intervention the way an alcoholic needs another drink. I mean, the reason the economy can't recover is because the Fed wouldn't allow it to have a real recession. We are suffering the consequences of QE1, QE2. In fact, the consequences of the QE that precipitated the housing bubble and the stock market bubble. We can't let the Federal Reserve use monetary policy and artificially low interest rates to blow these bubbles, and then when the bubbles blow up, not let the market repair the damage, but try to juice the economy with more QE. It's never going to recover if we keep doing this.
Ron, what do you think? You think the stimulus will make a difference here?
Well, I think it will help at the margin. And I think that the notion of not letting the Fed help and letting the market clear with what would have been a devastating recession or depression in 2008 and 2009 is historically wrong-headed. We found out what happened when policy mistakes were made in the 1930s. We found out what's happened in Japan in the 1990s. And there is really no historical basis on which to make these predictions that intervention and assistance from a policy perspective doesn't help the economy. There are 46.7 million people on food stamps who would argue quite differently right now.
Ron, yes, there is. In fact, we're repeating the mistakes of Japan. We're repeating the mistakes of the 1930s. We are intervening. We're actually doing it in a worse way. And the Fed can't help. All they can do is make it worse. Now, can they delay the pain?
But that's patently false. You're not backing that up with anything, Peter.
No, I'm backing it up with facts. All the Fed can do, Ron, is delay the pain, but in doing it, it makes it worse. And how do you think I knew the crisis was coming? How do you think I was on CNBC in 2005 and 2006 warning about it? I understood what the Fed was doing. And when everybody else was calling for a recovery in 2009 and 2010, I said it wasn't real. I said we would be back in recession, and we will be.
All right, so what's going to happen now, Peter?
So you think with a recession
let me just respond by saying if it's not real, it's the best fake 100% rally in stocks I've seen. And the economy's growing 2%, where it would have been down 9 or 10%.
You have got to separate.
Talking about the economy and the market. You've got to talk about two different things.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the stock market.
Yeah.
The stock market is not the economy. In fact, QE is good for the stock market because it's inflation. When you create inflation and destroy the value of money and you wipe out liabilities, that's what's happening. That's why stocks are going up. But if you measure stocks in gold, they're not going up. They're going down if you look at them in real money.
Well, first of all, gold isn't necessarily real money. There are all kinds of money.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there are. And if you look at history, we'll see everything from seashells to lodestones to salt to paper to metals being real money. There are all kinds of money.
You know, we
but
can have
paper is not money. Paper is a money substitute.
Argument. We have this
Currency
theory
is not money.
What should be done. But when you think about it from a political standpoint, which politician is going to be the one to sit on his hands or her hands and let the economy sink, without providing some help? I mean, you know they would not be returned to office at all if they allowed the free markets to do their thing back in 2008.
Well, if they had allowed the free market to work, we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. But I understand.
We would have gone through a lot more pain, Peter.
No,
come on. You know the outcome would have been a lot more pain for the economy, and we would be blaming those politicians who did nothing at that time.
But the government inflated the housing bubble. Without the Fed and the government, there would have been no housing bubble. There would have been no financial crisis.
So they caused the problem, but they had to fix the problem at the same time.
You can't give them credit.
Ron, you heard Peter's points here, and it's not that you haven't heard this argument before. A lot of people feel
all too many times,
but a lot of people feel that at this point the Fed action is not really going to do anything, and they're almost out of bullets. So, is there too much Fed action at this point?
No. First of all, the Fed is not almost out of bullets. That is a fiction that people keep coming up with. If you studied the Fed and what they can do during periods where there is deflationary pressure and excess capacity around the world, including here at home, the Fed can do more, will do more tomorrow, and it mitigates the impact of a deflationary deleveraging that's going on in the economy. That has been proven over the last several years. It's been proven over the last several cycles.
They're going to do more harm. You know, you can collect seashells. I'm going to keep buying gold. The one thing we're not going to get out of this, we're not going to get any jobs. And eventually, Ron, we're going to have a currency crisis and a sovereign debt crisis. Yes, we will. And it's going to make the financial crisis look like a Sunday school
Maria,
picnic.
if I may, Peter started emailing me in the mid-1990s talking about hyperinflation. We went through the 1990s without hyperinflation. The biggest threat was deflation. Some of us, like myself, were also talking about problems in housing in 2005, 2006, 2007. Pull the tapes, Peter. They're all there. Read my books. It's all in there. 2003, 2009.
I don't remember you out there on CNBC what I was doing about calling about the financial
I don't need you to remember. There's tape that would prove it.
Thank
it's
you
silly.
so much.
I can't wait to see who picks up the check at lunch.
Well, Peter will buy it in gold.
Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you, guys. We'll
that
see
was
you
as
soon.
fun as we thought it would be.
Oh, yeah. And then don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the Fed special. That
housing bubble, there would have been no financial
so they
crisis.
caused the problem, but they had to fix the problem at the same time.
let's look forward.
You can't give them credit.
Ron, you heard Peter's points here, and it's not that you haven't heard this argument before. A lot of people feel
all too many times,
but a lot of people feel that at this point the Fed action is not really going to do anything, and they're almost out of bullets. So, is there too much Fed action at this point?
No. First of all, the Fed is not almost out of bullets. That is a fiction that people keep coming up with. If you studied the Fed and what they can do during periods where there is deflationary pressure and excess capacity around the world, including here at home, the Fed can do more, will do more tomorrow, and it mitigates the impact of a deflationary deleveraging that's going on in the economy. That has been proven over the last several years. It's been proven over the last several cycles.
They're going to do more harm. You know, you can collect seashells. I'm going to keep buying gold. The one thing we're not going to get out of this, we're not going to get any jobs. And eventually, Ron, we're going to have a currency crisis and a sovereign debt.
Thanks so much, Brian. Well, if the world's investors are right, get ready for another intervention by the Federal Reserve to boost the economy. That, of course, we will hear about tomorrow at 2 p.m. ahead of the press conference that Bernanke will give.
Meantime, we're going to talk about whether it's needed or not. Euro Pacific Capital's Peter Schiff says any Fed action is not going to help, and it's wrong. Ron Insana, though, says the economy needs it right now. So let's talk about it and get your perspectives on this right now. Peter, you saw the employment numbers last Friday. You don't think we need more Fed intervention?
Well, I mean, we need more Fed intervention the way an alcoholic needs another drink. I mean, the reason the economy can't recover is because the Fed wouldn't allow it to have a real recession. We are suffering the consequences of QE1, QE2. In fact, the consequences of the QE that precipitated the housing bubble and the stock market bubble. We can't let the Federal Reserve use monetary policy and artificially low interest rates to blow these bubbles, and then when the bubbles blow up, not let the market repair the damage. All the Fed can do, Ron, is delay the pain, but in doing it, it makes it worse. And how do you think I knew the crisis was coming? How do you think I was on CNBC in 2005 and 2006 warning about it? I understood what the Fed was doing. And when everybody else was calling for a recovery in 2009 and 2010, I said it wasn't real. I said we would be back in recession, and we will be.
All right, so what's going to happen now, Peter?
So you think with a recession
let me just respond by saying if it's not real, it's the best fake 100% rally in stocks I've seen. And the economy's growing 2%, where it would have been down 9 or 10% annually.
You have got to separate.
About the economy and the markets. We've got to talk about two different things.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the stock market.
Yeah.
The stock market is not the economy. In fact, QE is good for the stock market because it's inflation. When you create inflation and destroy the value of money and you wipe out liabilities, that's what's happening. That's why stocks are going up. But if you measure stocks in gold, they're not going up. They're going down if you look at them in real money.
Well, first of all, gold isn't necessarily real money. There are all kinds of money.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there are. And if you look at history, we'll see everything from seashells to lodestones to salt to paper to metals being real money. They're all kinds of money.
You know, we
but
can have
paper
the
is not money. Paper is a money substitute.
Argument. We can have this
Currency
theory
is not
argument
money.
what should be done, but when you think about it from a political standpoint, which politician is going to be the one to sit on his hands or her hands and let the economy sink, you know, without providing some help? I mean, you know they would not be returned to office at all if they allowed the free markets to do their thing back in 2008.
Well, if they had allowed the free market to work, we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. But I understand.
We would have gone through a lot more pain, Peter.
No,
come on. You know the outcome would have been a lot more pain for the economy, and we would be blaming those politicians who did nothing at that time.
But the government inflated the housing bubble. Without the Fed and the government, there would have been no damage. But try to juice the economy with more QE, it's never going to recover if we keep doing this.
Ron, what do you think? You think the stimulus will make a difference here?
Well, I think it will help at the margin, and I think that the notion of not letting the Fed help and letting the market clear with what would have been a devastating recession or depression in 2008 and 2009 is historically wrong-headed. We found out what happened when policy mistakes were made in the 1930s. We found out what's happened in Japan in the 1990s, and there is really no historical basis on which to make these predictions that intervention and assistance from a policy perspective doesn't help the economy. There are 46.7 million people on food stamps who would argue quite differently right now.
Ron, yes, there is. In fact, we're repeating the mistakes of Japan. We're repeating the mistakes of the 1930s. We are intervening. We're actually doing it in a worse way. And the Fed can't help. All they can do is make it worse. Now, can they delay the pain?
But that's patently false. You're not backing that up with anything, Peter.
No, I'm backing it up with facts.